Litigious Letitia James in the news again. This time because she's suing the Trump administration's Health and Human Services Department over proposed budget cuts. But that's not what she's really up to, is it? It's all about obstructionism. Be that as it may, we're going to listen to two clips. The first one is Litigious Letitia, and the next one is going to be a constitutional law attorney who's actually breaking down what Litigious Letitia is really up to. Take a listen.
The White House is threatening our way of life. They want to cut Meals on Wheels. They want to cut funds to firefighters. Why? Because they want to cut funds for housing. And the list goes on and on and on. All of these funds and more, we've got to stand up. And that's why Democratic attorneys general will be joining me in filing this lawsuit.
Listen to this. New York Attorney General Letitia James is now announcing a lawsuit against the Trump administration's Health and Human Services Department over proposed health care funding cuts. So let's bring in Jonathan Turley, constitutional law attorney and Fox News contributor. Jonathan, good to have you here. Of course, this comes just weeks after the DOJ announced that they are actually investigating some allegations of mortgage fraud against Letitia James. She calls that revenge, but the timing of all of this seems a little suspect.
Well, it is par for the course. You know, James has always used her office to target opponents, whether it's Trump or the NRA. She's very selective and she's very open in politicizing that office. And this is the latest of a series of lawsuits by Democratic leaders around the country. And the problem for the Trump administration is they file before favorable courts in blue states, and they're getting these national injunctions. Mm-hmm. And it's gotten to the point of being absolutely absurd. It means that a president cannot govern unless you can basically run the course with 677 district court judges, any one of which can issue a national injunction. So you've got to win every case 677-0 if you actually want to implement policy. Well, the justices have said, including liberal justices like Justice Kagan, that this is truly insane. And this is just the latest such lawsuit to try to limit what this president can do.
Well, let's talk about how much this could slow the administration down, because now she's calling up all of these AGs in blue states and asking them to join her on this lawsuit against HHS. I'm not sure who's going to want to jump in on that when she's under investigation herself. But how tangled up can this get for this administration when, like you said, I mean, they're literally facing injunctions and legal action, I mean, across the board?
Well, people need to think about the implications of what is happening. It means that you can be elected as a president, but effectively the presidency is going to be run at the discretion of district court judges issuing national or universal injunctions. That's not really how this is supposed to work. And the constitutional basis for these orders are extremely dubious. Some of these orders I find to be overtly unconstitutional, but they have to work their way through the system. And what these Democrats know is that in the usual course of things, they'll leave a president his third year before he can actually start to implement policy. And that's what's so insane about this. Now, on May 15th, the Supreme Court's going to look at national injunctions. And many of us are hoping that Chief Justice Roberts and the court will finally bring some semblance of order to all of this and deter these district court judges. Because we have a system that's run on people being able to vote in presidents to effectuate change, including looking for waste and in this case, downsizing government. We've got to get back to that. And so that argument on the 15th is enormously important.
Good old litigious Letitia. You know, I don't really know what to say after all that, besides how disappointing it is. And quite frankly, how I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I guess none of us should. You know, if Democrats don't get their way at the ballot box, they've just decided that they're going to try to get their way by creating national injunctions. So think about it. You know, they lost the election, and now they're going to block the policy that the majority of the country voted for by creating these national injunctions. And hopefully that will shortly come to an end. May 15th, as Jonathan Turley was saying, is a big deal, because on May 15th, the Supreme Court is going to start hearing cases like this, attorney generals that are obstructionist, district court judges that are being obstructionists, that are really taking the part of their job as judges and attorney generals too far. We shall wait and see. But until then, as always, God bless you. Love you all.